Hey everyone, welcome back to the Environmental Podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to be conducting a test. Each of us have prepared about 15 questions to ask the other person. A lot of them are about the environment, but there's a few in there about the other person's interests or areas of expertise to try and stump them. Oh.
I just chose all the things that are the opposite of your areas of expertise.
Oh.
They're all about drilling. Questions you just have no idea what they're about. Drilling, sand.
Interesting. Well, the real point of this is to learn something. Because we've prepared the test, but we have answers with some details to maybe, even if the person knows the answer, they'll learn something new. Hopefully you listeners at home will learn something new.
Yeah, and I'm going to win.
I don't know about that. I've done some studying.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll start. I'll ask the first one.
Sounds good.
I'll try and select an order of questions which is kind of particularly devious. I'll try and lull you into some false sense of security, and then I'll just hit you with some hard ones.
Oh, okay.
So the first one, name every US president since 1980. It's pretty easy. You should be able to do it.
Okay, how many were there?
Just name them. Figure it out.
Okay, Trump.
Yep.
Obama.
Yep.
Bush.
Yep.
Clinton.
Yep.
Nixon?
No, he was in the 60s.
I don't know many presidents. Okay, so I have 4.
That's right.
Was there another Bush?
That's right, yep.
Okay.
Another George Bush.
Another 2 George Bushes. Okay. I can see his face, but I just can't remember what his name is.
He's quite an important one,
Mm-hmm.
especially considering who's in office right now.
Yeah.
A similar celebrity Republican.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember his name, though.
Okay. Reagan.
Yes.
And then before him, just in the late 70s and into 1981, Jimmy Carter.
Oh, okay.
So you got 6 out of 8.
Not too
So
shabby.
I guess I'll give you 6 out of 8.
Cool.
I'll give you 3 out of 4, actually. 3 points.
Cool. Your first question is a very easy one, hopefully.
Okay.
It was just a starter. It's the only easy one here. Which of the following is not a greenhouse gas? A. Methane. B. Ozone. C. Argon. D. Nitrous oxide.
I'm trying to read your face.
Can't do that.
So it was nitrous oxide,
Don't
argon.
look at my sheet.
I can't see your sheet.
Oh my days.
It was nitrous oxide, argon, methane,
and ozone.
And ozone. Well, methane obviously is. Ozone is. I'm gonna say argon.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Let's go.
the third major constituent of the atmosphere, though.
Yeah. After nitrogen and
Oxygen.
oxygen.
Yeah. Nitrogen is 78%. Oxygen is 21%. Then argon is 0.9% of the atmosphere.
It's a noble gas.
Yes.
It's not.
And do you want to know the reason
gas.
that it isn't a
Greenhouse gas?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't trap heat, that kind of thing?
Yeah, because it's just one element, it's one molecule. It's Ai.
Oh, it's an element. Right,
Yeah.
It's not a molecule then.
Yeah.
Good
and then
point.
methane is like CH4, ozone is O3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CO2. Cool.
Exactly. What's your next question? I'm going to give you 1 point.
Okay. These next 2 questions are going to be kind of themed on our podcast episodes so far, so the previous 24 episodes.
Okay.
So hope you study those. It's the question how much you actually learned from them.
Okay.
So this one is, name one of Rachel Carson's books that isn't Silent Spring.
It's like Tales of the Ocean or something like that.
We did a whole biographical episode on it.
Yes. She wrote like kids' storybooks with the ocean is all I remember.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they were called. It would be like Wonderful Ocean or something like that.
Yeah, she wrote a couple that had the word wonder in.
Yeah.
I'll give you half a point for that if you want.
Let me see. Let me just try and guess.
It's unlikely that you're going to land on it exactly.
I don't know. Wonder of the Sea.
No, but that's really close.
Okay, what was it?
Well, she has one called The Edge of the Sea and one called The Sense of Wonder, so...
Oh.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you half a point for that.
Okay.
Good to know that biographical episode, the research really stuck with you.
I sort of knew.
Yeah, sort of.
And I mean, that was like 10 episodes ago or
Sure.
something. Okay, the next one.
It's like 2 weeks ago, but okay.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Okay. This one's really hard, but I mean, it's just for fun. There are 5 criteria for each classification of endangerment for a species.
Right.
I will name the category, and you tell me the criteria for an animal to be critically endangered.
What?
So, but I have examples. So I'm going to
Okay.
tell you the endangered criteria. But you
Okay.
have to tell me what the critically endangered criteria would be.
Okay, I really should know this.
So, for example, there's population reduction rate, so like the rate at which the population is declining.
Mm-hmm.
For an endangered animal, it's 50 to 70% is the rate that it's reducing at.
Okay.
What is the rate for an animal to be considered critically endangered?
Of their population declining?
Yes.
And endangered is 50 to 70?
Yeah.
90 and above. No, 70 and above.
No.
What?
80 to 90%.
But what about the 70 to 80?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Okay, whatever.
I mean, like, I'll give that to you, but it's just
No.
like half.
Okay, half a point.
Okay.
Oh, it's a multi-part question.
There's 5 parts.
Oh.
Area of occupancy. So this is the area that the animal has to, like, the natural ecosystem which it inhabits.
Okay.
For an endangered species, it's less than 500 kilometers squared.
Okay.
And until it hits, like, the critically endangered criteria.
100 kilometers squared.
No. 10 kilometers squared.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those critically endangered really is very critically endangered then.
Yeah.
Okay, I
It's
understand.
basically
Almost extinct. Yeah.
Yeah. Population size. For endangered, it's less than 2,500 mature creatures.
Yes.
What is it for critically endangered?
Well, less than 100.
No. Less than 250.
Oh, it's so arbitrary.
I know. It was just, this is more for the audience to learn something.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure what this one means.
Oh,
But-
well, awesome.
Population restrictions. It's essentially, if it goes below this number, it will skip into the next. Like,
Okay.
it will be extinct.
Yeah, okay, obviously.
So, for endangered, it's less than 250 mature animals.
Of course, yeah, because we just talked about that, right?
Yeah.
That was the same as the earlier question.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically at what point is an animal considered extinct?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say 10.
Yes.
Yes!
And he gets it.
Because if you, like, extinct means there's no more, but if you have 10, then they can't grow.
Exactly.
They can't regrow, okay. So it's beyond the point of salvation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the last one is probability of extinction in the wild.
Oh, gosh. For a critically endangered species.
Yes. So, for an endangered species, the population of extinction is at least 20% within 20 years.
Is it the same time frame for the critically endangered?
No.
What? Can you give me the time frame?
Yeah, in 10 years.
100%.
No.
90?
No.
50?
Yes.
Shoot.
How many points should he get for that?
3. I took 3 guesses. So that's if there isn't any kind of conservation work or anything like that.
Yeah, it's just if it was in the wild, this is the probability that it would go extinct, and it's less than at least 50%. So that's that question, and you got 1.75
Thank you.
out of 5.
My next question for you is, name the 7 ancient wonders of the world.
I can do that. Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
Yep.
Maybe I can't. The pyramids.
Say the full name, you coward.
The pyramids at Giza?
Yeah, okay, the Great Pyramids
Great Pyramids
of Giza.
Giza, okay. It's the one with the guy, like, standing over the
Oh
entryway.
my gosh.
What's his name? I don't know.
I actually remember this one. I didn't remember any of Rachel Carson's books, but I remember this one, so
Yeah,
that's something I've learned.
I can get this. There's the Tower of Zeus, or not the Tower of Zeus, but there's the statue of Zeus.
That's right. Statue of
There's-
Zeus at Olympia.
There's that temple that had the female Amazonians who built it or something like that. The temple of...
A Greek goddess.
I want to say like Artemis. But
Yeah, that was it. Temple of Artemis.
Really?
Yeah. So you got 4 of them.
I'm not dumb. Trying to remember our graphic because I handmade all those little
Yeah, you did.
doodles. Hanging Gardens. Okay, so what do I have so far?
You have the Great Pyramids of Giza, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the Temple of Artemis, and the Statue of Zeus at Olympia. That's the one that was indoors, and it described him standing up. And you said there were little secrets carved into it or whatever.
Yes. I don't know why I can't remember the other ones. I know I can, but it's just hard on the spot. And I know there's the guy like standing over the entryway to the town.
Yep, yeah.
There's...
You're missing a pretty distinct one.
I know I am.
Okay.
This is frustrating.
You're missing a pretty distinct one, and the hardest one, and then the statue that you just described.
Oh, there's the lighthouse.
Yes, the lighthouse of...
The lighthouse of... Cha-cha-cha. I don't know.
The lighthouse of Cha-cha-cha. I'll give you half a point for that one.
Okay, there's the lighthouse. And...
It was the lighthouse of Alexandria.
Oh, okay. I probably wouldn't have got that.
Time's running out. We don't have all day here.
Okay, I don't know. This is the distinct one I'm missing?
No, that was it.
That
The
was
lighthouse.
it. Oh, and then the hardest one.
The hardest one was the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus. That was
Yeah.
that really square building, remember?
Wouldn't have got
With
that.
the columns. I
Mhm.
remember that. And the Colossus of Rhodes is the name for the statue standing over the water.
Cool beans.
So you got 4.5. Good job. Or not.
Okay. This one, these are easy compared to yours. Well, maybe not the last one, but this one is. Maybe. What film was considered Stanley Kubrick's directorial debut?
Do you mean what film he considered his directorial debut?
No, is considered on the Wikipedia page.
Oh, yikes. I don't know what Wikipedia lists.
No, but it's like, I think I know what he would consider his directorial debut, but it's not what he would consider.
The Killing?
No.
Killer's Kiss?
No.
Paths of Glory?
No.
What?
Fear and Desire.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the one he...
Probably didn't like these.
Yeah, he writes that one off.
Yeah.
But okay.
He's also the cinematographer and producer on it. Okay, what would he consider his debut? Or what's the first one that he directed, produced, like he did everything?
Well, no, he basically, I think Fear and Desire, he just says, ew, that's a terrible movie. I was just learning how to make movies, don't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought The Killing came after that, which was like the boxing movie. I mean the noir movie.
I didn't have that wrote down.
What do you have? Spartacus?
Dr. Strangelove was the first one that he wrote, directed.
Oh, please, that came... You know what? I'll give you the points for that one. Okay, you can mark me wrong for that. But I think that one came like 65.
I don't have the year.
Okay.
53 was Fear and Desire, and then in 1951 he did 2 short documentaries, but those no one considers his debut.
No.
Because they're short
Whatever.
documentaries. I don't know.
Whatever. Fine, I'm going to give you a really tough one.
Okay.
Or maybe I should just give you an environmental one, actually.
Okay.
For once. Okay, the IUCN lists 20,000 species on their red list of threatened species.
Okay.
This includes critically endangered, or vulnerable.
Okay.
So it's like the 3 most severe classifications. Mm-hmm. What type of animal has the most endangered species on the list? Not endangered, but has the most species on the list. Type of animal, you don't have to be super biological with the wording.
Birds?
No. Close. Birds is second.
What do you mean close? Birds are the most distinct insects?
Yeah. So you got the top 2, actually, which is what I had written, so I'll give you 4 points for that. 2 out of 2.
Boom.
Good job. So yeah, insects are the species that are most at risk. And they're also the ones that has the least data, about them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there's
So you can
probably
really
there's
track
probably
them.
way more, but I think just mammals get more press, even though I don't
Yeah.
think they tend to be as important for their ecosystems either.
Yeah, that's true. Because insects pollinate, they
Yeah,
decompose
it was talking
matter.
about complete like collapse if all these insects go extinct.
Yeah, I mean, when there was like the bee shortage, it's very.
Yeah, and those are even very very trendy kind of
Yeah.
well-known insects. It's the ugly
Mhm.
ones which are probably most in danger.
Yeah, probably. My next one. This is a little bit of a study for you. Name as many biogeochemical cycles as you can.
Okay, because I'm in a class called that. So, what do you mean, nutrient cycles?
Nutrient cycles is one of them.
Okay. Nutrient cycles is one of them. Can you tell me how many you have?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yikes.
And then there's two, like, sort of lesser
Okay.
known ones. So,
So,
there's 10.
nutrient cycles is one of them?
Yeah.
Is the water cycle one of them? Or are we counting that as a nutrient cycle?
Yeah, water's one of them.
So that's 2.
Mm-hmm.
Energy? Is that one?
No.
Okay. Nutrients. I mean,
Nutrient cycles is like the decomposition,
well, that just covers so much.
but it doesn't
Doesn't include chemicals?
include chemicals.
So it doesn't include like nitrogen?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So nitrogen, phosphorus,
Yep.
sulfur.
Mm-hmm. Missing 3 more. 2 of which you can get.
Oh, the other one's off limits. Carbon, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see, we've got nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, carbon, water.
You're missing the geo in the biogeochemical cycles.
Rock. There's no rock cycle.
Yeah, apparently there is.
Rock cycle? That
Rock
doesn't sound very
cycle.
scientific to me. Rock cycle, it sounds like a Pokemon thing.
One more. You can get it.
You said I couldn't.
Rock was one I didn't think you could get. Then I gave you a hint.
Yeah, you did tell me.
A hintaroo.
Okay. Let me think. I think it'd be easy if I had the periodic table because we could kind of scratch
You
them
don't
off.
even need the what's the element that everyone knows? Everyone knows H2O, CO2.
None of those are elements.
I mean, what's the like
The molecule?
the things everyone knows? Everyone's favorite molecule.
Oxygen?
Yeah.
Oxygen cycle?
Woo.
Okay.
And then there's 2 more:
Right, you can just tell me those.
mercury and human-caused cycle of PCBs.
Okay.
This could have been a completely janky list. I don't know
It
exactly.
definitely
but,
sounds like it.
Um,
Rock cycle.
I'll just give you 100% on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your turn.
I like these questions because they're kind of exposing to me how little I know about things.
Yes, me too.
Okay, what are the biggest sources of household waste? In places with well-developed recycling systems, and I have just 2. So I don't mean materials, I don't mean like paper, plastic, I mean things that pass through a house.
Sources?
Yeah, like the reason, like what is most household waste?
Food.
I mean, and not things which are just improperly placed in the waste. Like food can be recycled.
Yeah. And you don't mean like clothing?
Could be.
Things pass through households. I'd say like refrigerants or like just energy.
No, household waste, like solid waste. Refrigerants, energy.
I
Jeez.
would just say food and clothing.
No, neither of those. Because food can be recycled.
So can clothing.
I mean, things that go in the waste that shouldn't go in the waste. I mean, that there are no other alternate means to recycle easily.
Oh, so it's just like you can't recycle these things.
Yeah, what is in
going
the garbage?
Okay.
Jeez.
Styrofoam.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay. And
I didn't mean materials, I meant like things.
okay, so like food wrappings then.
Yeah, that was one I had. Packaging.
Okay.
Packaging is the biggest one.
Okay.
And I included styrofoam in that, so I'll give you that.
Okay.
Maybe this is
So-
kind of a weird question, but
It is a little
I was
weird.
interested in it because I was like, well, what is stopping us from just recycling everything? What are the
Yeah.
things which we throw out the most?
Okay, so
Excuse the hammering, audience.
Okay, so packaging and what do you throw out?
Hammers?
You can really recycle anything. I'll go with...
I'll let it be known that this list I found was slightly questionable as well, but I liked the
I
look
had
of it.
something I was going to say, then the hammering distracted me. Okay, you eat your foods. What else do we even do? Electrical waste? Electronic waste?
Yeah, I'll give you that. Small appliances.
Okay.
So that basically means electric toothbrushes, blenders, little radios, anything like that which we don't know how to recycle. I think people just have a tendency to throw those away. And I think there's probably is a way to recycle them, but I wouldn't know how, so I would just throw it away.
Yeah, because you can, things like electronics, you can bring to places that sort
like
them.
Televisions, but what are you supposed to do with an electric toothbrush?
There's places that would take them apart.
No, there aren't.
I don't know.
Well, a lot of people don't live near those places anyway.
True. Same with where I come from, they recycle styrofoam, but it's the only place in the whole province that does it.
So I think there's just a lot of objects which people need to know more about.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing the biggest reason things are thrown away is because people don't know they can be recycled.
Yeah.
It's not so much careless or willful.
I always worry though, the more I look into recycling, I never know where stuff goes. So I wish we could
It doesn't help that
faster.
every municipality is different, so you have to relearn the rules everywhere you go.
Okay, this one's pretty easy for you. Where does methane come from? Just list the sources. I have about 3 general ones.
Agriculture.
Yes.
So that means cows pumping
Mm-hmm.
and burping. Mining, in that kind of industrial excavation.
Yeah, that's pretty close. I had production and transport of fossil fuels, but that includes coal and...
Yes.
Yeah.
And you had 3. Let's see. Deforestation. Does it come out of that?
No.
No, what do you have?
Food waste in landfills.
Oh, yeah, that's an obvious one that I should have gotten.
Yeah.
Okay, because
That was good, though.
Methane kind of gets trapped in bubbles, right?
Yeah. It's when there's, anaerobic decay of organic material.
Okay, sorry.
I know this because of my...
Yeah, I knew that too.
Yeah.
I knew that too, I just forgot.
I just forgot. No, it's okay. That's how I feel about all these questions.
Okay, I have a really hard one, which I want to save to the very end, because I think it's going to be funny.
I have a really funny last hard one, too.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we already had the question about U.S. presidents.
Yes.
We wanted to talk about Bernie.
Oh, losing or dropping out of the race.
Dropping out of the race, so that means the Democratic nominee is pretty much set to be
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe Biden, which is what it is. We'll probably have an episode detailing that election, so we don't want to derail this one.
Yeah, true.
We just want to say our condolences to Bernie and to the whole progressive movement in America, because it's quite the blow.
Yeah.
Twice in a row. But anyway, so you like Bernie?
I like Bernie.
So this question is going to be on one of his issues.
Okay.
One of his straight from his platform.
Okay.
And it's a fill in the blank question.
Okay.
So I'll read the whole thing first.
Yes.
One of his goals, if made president, was to establish an annual tax on the extreme wealth of the top % of U.S. households.
Okay.
This will only apply to people with households with a net worth of over blank $1 million.
Okay.
Anyone with a net worth below this amount would not see their taxes go up at all under this plan, and the plan would raise an estimated blank amount over the next decade.
Okay.
So you don't have to, it's just try and be close. So the first one was what % of the extreme earners would have a new annual tax?
10?
No.
1?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
0.1.
Okay.
So 1 was pretty close, but it's just like the very, very top, very, very richest.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll give you maybe half a point for that.
Maybe 300 million?
No. 32 million.
I was going to say 30.
Okay, I'm just going to mark you wrong for that one.
That's whatever. And that would raise...
Yeah, how much would it raise over the next decade?
$2 trillion.
Close. $4.35 trillion.
It's not really close.
Well, it was in the order of magnitude, it was close.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll give you half a point for that. So I'll give you 1 point for
Okay.
that question.
Sorry, Bernie.
No, I wanted to test you on one of his issues, but it was kind of difficult because I wanted to do something environmental, but it just would have been the Green New Deal, which I presumed you knew
I do know
somewhat
that.
well. So I wanted to do something which was just like obscure numbers,
Mm.
which you had no chance of getting.
I had a chance. Because
Okay.
I was like, my guesses were on the right track. If I was on a test, I probably would have thought them through a little more. But you know.
You are on a test, but okay.
Okay, next is a French test for you.
No way.
So I'm going to say it's a colors test, which is pretty easy.
Okay.
So
Naranja.
do you want me to say... I'll say the English word and you say the French word.
Yeah, that's probably harder.
Yeah. Green.
Vert.
Red.
Rouge.
Yellow.
Jaune.
I thought I would trick you on that one. Okay, you probably got the rest. Blue.
Bleu.
And white.
Blanc.
He's been studying.
Wow, look at me. Look at me, man. Look at me go.
Very good.
Voici à moi. Yeah?
Good.
Pretty close. One day we will have a French episode. One day
Just
we'll
in
be
French?
good enough. Yeah, to
Yeah.
do an episode in French. Today's not the day though. Okay, so I'll save your French question for
Oh, you
later.
have the French question?
Yeah, that's why it's funny.
Mine's going to be so much harder.
Yeah, it will be because you know French and I don't know French. Okay, we'll do another environmental one.
Okay.
Rank the following countries in terms of their renewable energy production. The numbers
Okay.
are as of 2016, and it's like the percentage of their total energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just volume, because that wouldn't be fair to the smaller countries.
Okay. So
Okay.
to rank them, you're going to tell me
Yeah,
them?
there's 5 of them. Mexico,
Okay.
South Africa,
Mm-hmm.
Iceland,
Okay.
Germany, India.
India's at the bottom.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
No.
Shoot.
It was Mexico, South Africa.
Wait, don't tell me the rest of them. I need to...
No, I'm giving you the whole list. Again.
Oh, okay.
In the same order I said it. Mexico, South Africa. I think I said Germany, Iceland, India.
Would Mexico be at the bottom then?
No.
Like, wouldn't Germany be at the top and then Iceland?
No.
How?
Should I just... I'll give you one more crack at it. It should be pretty easy now. You've eliminated everything that...
Wait, is this South Africa?
Yeah.
And is it like the percent of their total?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea.
So
I'll
South
say
Africa's at the
Iceland.
bottom.
That makes...
South Africa has just 3.2% of their total energy is from renewables. And I think it was mostly hydro. For most of the countries, it was hydro. I had the giant list.
Okay, so Iceland's at the top.
Iceland's at the top with 100% because they have all the geothermal stuff. I can't believe you didn't get
yes,
that.
I forgot.
Silly.
I always mess up Iceland and Greenland and forget which is which.
So Iceland's at the top,
Then Germany.
then Germany, which has 46.2%,
Then Mexico.
then India, which has
What does India have?
16.8,
Okay.
and this was back in 2016, and then Mexico with 15.3. So those two are really close.
India has a lot because they burn a lot of...
No,
Biomass.
no. The chart I was looking at was just what we call renewables: hydro, solar, geothermal, and wind.
Okay.
I think India has some rivers,
Yeah, I guess.
but most countries are around 15 at a baseline. 15,
Really?
15%, yeah, because of hydro. Hydro does a lot. Like Canada's at 65%.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's because we got Quebec over
Because
there.
we have
just
hydro.
Setting us all
Hydro, baby.
to shame.
So I'll give you 0 points for that.
Yeah,
Quite a terrible showing, actually. I can't believe you didn't get Iceland. That was...
I know. I was thrown by I was trying to get the bottom because I just thought I knew India had like nothing, and in my head I was like South Africa is like kind of developed.
No, it's very well developed, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't care about that.
That's weird. They all seem like it's like the Australia. Like they seem like they're all really like nature people. But that's
No.
based on my one person, Dan Mace, that I know.
That's based on a one YouTuber that I watch who is a YouTuber, so not that environmental, but
Yeah.
you know, he surfs, so...
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a good question then.
Good question. I feel ashamed. Throwing plastic bags and other plastic materials in the ocean kills as many as blank sea creatures annually.
Just a raw number.
Yeah. So it's just like if people are throwing, like just in general, if people are throwing plastic into the ocean, it's not like per plastic bag, but it's just like about how many sea creatures are killed by plastic in the ocean annually.
Well, there's about 8 billion people.
Yep.
So that means there must be about 8 billion water things, ocean people. So
It's one of the, okay.
Well, how am I supposed to get a ballpark for how many creatures live in the ocean? It's very difficult. I'm going to say 12 million.
1 million.
I was in the same order of magnitude.
Yeah.
Millions. That's such a difficult question.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I thought you might just know it or something.
A million. A milli.
Really? Yeah.
I'm guessing those are mostly turtles and small fish.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because it's not like they're counting the plankton that it kills or something like that. Or the
Microplastics kill a lot of fish, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the next two are going to be fashion questions.
Okay.
When and why did men stop wearing hats? You know, every man. All the time.
I'm going to say due to a shortage of materials following World War I.
No. So what's your when? Just say the decades that you're thinking.
I'm going to say like the 30s and 40s they stopped.
Yeah, 30s, 40s, 50s. So, and they peaked from like the late 19th century to the end of the 1920s.
Okay.
So you got the when, right?
And the why was...
It wasn't because of a shortage of materials.
Was it because of like there were public figures who were really like deplorable who were wearing hats and they didn't want to be...
You mean gangsters?
No, I meant like fascists.
No, that's not why. That's kind of weird. Also, I don't know if anyone associates fascists with hats, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I was just trying to think like global figures that would like...
I mean, you're kind of
know
right on the
that.
global figure thing. So here's a part of it. So
Okay.
towards the tail end of the hat die-off,
Mm-hmm.
one of the final kind of nails in the coffin was that JFK was elected in 1960, and
Okay.
he like never wore a hat. He was kind of the first kind of
Okay.
fashionable
Mhm.
president. So that was one of the reasons. So you're kind of on the right path. But the biggest reason was because of the introduction of cars.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because usually hats were worn to kind of protect from the sun and the
Mhm.
elements, and that was but now everyone's driving, so they don't need them.
Interesting.
That was basically it. Oh, and another reason I found was that running hot water and improved hygiene meant that gross hair didn't have to be covered up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's the hats.
I'll give you 1.5 points for that. It was a difficult but fun question.
Yeah. Shortage of materials didn't make much sense, but I
No.
guess it's like there must be like a hat material. That's
Well,
like
one
really
of the
rare.
reasons I did see floated around, but I didn't really buy this theory, was that it was because after World War II, not World War One, or maybe just both of them, men were coming back from the war after having worn a uniform, and they kind of wanted to dress more casually.
Yeah,
So that, I mean, I suppose that could have been it, but I think cars is more
that makes
more
sense.
practical.
More practical. Oh, my turn. I phrase these all as if it was like on a grade 7 test, like they're like word problems and stuff.
Okay. I
2
should have given you a math question.
That's what your next one is.
Oh, okay.
Not this one, but the following one. Okay, 2 years ago, we went to the Museum of Natural History in London, and there was a slice or a cross section of a very old tree. Do you want to guess the age or the type of tree? And I'll tell you the other one.
Oh, I'm going to guess the age.
Okay, it's a sequoia tree.
I think I remember saying this was around when Jesus was around. But that could be very wrong. But I think I remember saying that. I was like, this tree might have seen Jesus. But I often say preposterous things like that, which are just blatantly wrong. So, which is why we started the podcast. I think, just so I could share them. I think I'm going to say,
Do you want to...
I'm going to guess the year.
You're going to guess the year?
I mean, how old? I'm going to guess the age.
Okay.
Because there was the age of it when it was cut down, but then it's been a slice for a while, I thought. I thought it'd been a slice for a while, like a slice of cheese.
It has only been
Like
a slice
aging.
for like...
You know, like cheese ages,
Oh, yes.
like a wheel. I'm going to say 800 years.
No.
Older?
Older.
1200.
Close.
1400.
1300 years old.
Oh!
And do you want to know the oldest tree in the world?
2000 years.
4,600 years old.
Wow.
I think those are those like really like they look dead and they're on like cliff sides. Have you ever seen those?
In the Lord of the Rings.
No. I mean, they're in like usually mountainous areas. They're kind of frozen. I didn't like research this. That's what I think it is. Those like 4,600-year-old trees. They're like
very impressive.
They look dead, but they're actually alive.
Whereas sequoias are in more temperate
Yeah.
regions.
Those usually, I think it was like.
But do you remember me saying that had been around since
I feel like
Jesus?
You do, and then I just was like, no, and then you're like, yeah, that's just wrong.
Okay. All right, that was a fun question.
Yeah.
What was the type?
Sequoia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already said that 3 times. Okay. The other fashion question was
I'll have to give you a point.
When was tie-dye invented? You can think it through.
1889.
No. What I found was that.
Wait, what do you mean tie-dye? Like the.
You're asking the right kind of question now.
Do you mean like those really like bright, like that trend?
You can answer the trend if you want.
The really psychedelic.
Yep, you can answer that trend if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna say 1963.
Yeah, it was in the 60s. Okay. So it reached America in the 60s.
Okay.
But the process of kind of tying them up.
I'm gonna say like 1300.
6th century.
6th century?
Yeah, apparently kind of convergently in India, or independently rather, in India, Japan, and Africa.
I mean, it just makes sense. Like, if you're dyeing stuff.
You're going to experiment.
Yeah.
So I'll give you 1 point for that.
Okay.
It's kind of a janky question.
Should I give you any points for the sequoia?
Nah, I got it wrong.
Okay, 0.
And then I couldn't even remember the name of it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, this is just a quick maths. Are you ready?
Quick math.
Okay, so it's 84 divided by 8.
Let me write it down.
No, it's mental math.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
84 divided by 8.
Yes.
In brackets, times 15.
Okay.
You have one guess, or one answer.
157.5.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
It wasn't like super tricky, but
Bed math, baby.
It was, yeah.
It actually didn't need to be bed math because you can do it from left to right.
Yeah.
Okay. I should have given you. Okay, I'll give you a French question now.
Okay.
Is this giving you flashbacks to high school? Kind of this whole setup?
A little bit, yeah. This is what me and my friends did for fun, just quiz.
Translate the following sentence into French.
It's gonna be embarrassing. Okay.
Why'd you spill your beans? So that's the contracted English version, or you could say, why did you spill your beans? Bear in mind that I don't know French, so my answer is from Google Translate.
Okay.
I have 2 answers in case you.
Pourquoi?
Oui.
What spill? Lasse is like drop.
I'll give you half a point for that if you want to stick with it.
That might not even be drop, but. And beans is. You asked me what beans was in French the other day, and I didn't look it up.
Could have just looked on the can.
It's like legumes. Legumes is vegetables, but I feel like it's.
Starts with an H.
Haricote.
Oui.
Haricote. Something like that.
You wouldn't have gotten it otherwise.
Haricote. What spill?
Do 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 do.
I'm just gonna say. Pourquoi laissez-vous des haricots?
I'll give you 1 point for that because you got pourquoi and you got haricot and that's about it.
What's spill?
So the 2 answers that I had, I don't know what spill is because I don't know French. But the 2 answers that I had, one was from Google Translate and one I watched the Lighthouse trailer in French.
Okay.
So that's what that quote's from, everyone listening. There's a movie called The Lighthouse and Why'd You Spill Your Beans is a famous quote that was in the trailer.
Yeah.
So the one from the Lighthouse trailer said, Pourquoi t'as craché le morceau?
Okay.
And the one from Google Translate said, Pourquoi as-tu renversé tes haricots? Renversé.
Interesting.
There you go. French lesson. Might have been a little bit harder than The one you gave me.
A little bit.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I need to practice my French because that was really bad. Even just my sentence structure was basically a can of beans. Okay. Ecology comes from the Greek words oikos and logos.
Oikos.
Yeah, like the yogurt.
Okay.
Which literally translates to what two words?
Do you say oikos and logos?
Lagos, Lagos.
Okay.
So it's two words. So it's like blank, blank, oikos and lagos.
Is it like science?
Science is one of them, yeah.
Earth? No, not oikos. It's dumb.
We talked about this, I think, on the Rachel Carson episode.
Okay. Well, if it's the same that they use for the yogh, the brand of yogh.
Yes.
I'm going to say life. No, I'm so dumb.
No, it's a similar vein. It's not life, but it's something.
Oikos?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking? Ecology. So I will say nature.
Household science.
Oikos means household.
Yes.
Oh, I was completely wrong on that. Why did you tell me I was similar?
No, because life, okay. The reason that I remember now where I learned this, it was in a class we were talking about feminism and ecology.
Yeah.
And religion. But it was just like, ecology is a really feminine, traditionally, like a lot of the ecological discoveries or the foundations for the discoveries came from people just like exploring their surroundings, cooking, gardening, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is a very household science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Thank you. That was a good question. I learned something new.
Yeah, so you're getting 1 out of 2 because you did get science.
Yeah, that was kind of easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Mostly because all our sciences end with ology.
Yeah.
What brought about the end of ancient Greece?
I knew this, but I don't know it anymore. Okay, the end of ancient Greece. Wasn't it a famine?
There was. There were all sorts of things. It was kind of an unfair question. It was like a confluence of different factors over a long time.
Yeah.
It's a slow death.
I thought the famine was like kind of the nail in the coffin though, because it's just like they couldn't produce food.
If I remember, Athens was kind of locked in. They had no food, and there was also disease going around.
Yeah.
Like they closed their walls.
Yeah.
So I'll give you half a point for that.
I would have said pandemic as well.
Who overtook them?
Who overtook them? Greece, Romans?
Yeah. So that's if you had to put down one reason, it would be because the Romans conquered them. But it was after they'd kind of weakened themselves for a long time with a bunch of infighting. And, you know, Greece and Sparta and Athens versus all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Wasn't too bad of an answer.
Fun fact, ancient Greece was never an empire nor a country. It didn't become one until 1821 when countries became the kind of official classification.
Makes sense.
We call it a civilization. It was a collection of independent city-states with a common culture.
Neat.
Yeah. Whereas Rome was an empire.
Yeah, because they had Caesar, right? Or like the...
Apparently Greece was very, very briefly united under Alexander the Great for only 12 years.
Oh, okay.
But aside from that, it was kind of disparate places. Okay, we just have, what, 2 more? 4 more.
Okay. What is the oldest football club in the world? And what year were they established?
It's in England.
Yes. It's recognized by both the FA and FIFA.
Do you know anything about it, or just the name?
I know like a little bit about it, but...
Are they top flight? Like, do we talk about them today?
We talk about them today.
Huh.
They're not top, like, they're not...
Are they in the Premier League?
They're in the Premier League.
Okay.
Wait. They're not in the Champions League, though.
No, okay. Let's see. Okay, so it's not any of the very top ones. It's kind of tough because all the clubs they're all pretty old.
They're all pretty old, yeah. But this was, I looked at the list of the top 15.
Do you have the year?
Any of them. Yeah, but you have to guess the year that they were established.
I thought I was guessing the club, or both.
Club and the year.
1821.
No, later.
1860.
A little later.
1870.
I mean, a little earlier.
What is it?
1857.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You were in, like, ballpark.
1857. So it probably wasn't any of the London clubs, I'm guessing. Or Liverpool, or Newcastle.
No.
What was it?
Sheffield.
Okay. I think I've heard like that's a
Like, you know
that's
it,
a kind
but
of
it's
pub
just
trivia thing, but
yeah. I know we didn't want anything too like.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah, I just thought it would kind of make you feel.
Sheffield United or Sheffield Wednesday?
Sheffield United.
Okay.
Okay, you're getting a fourth of a point.
Yeah, they are in the Premier League right now. Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of guessing on that, but I was like, I've heard of them. Probably know a player or two, so.
The next question. What are the 3 biggest sources of anthropogenic CO2? Okay, let me...
I was trying to find the list that we were looking at.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
I'm not talking about that list.
Shoot.
It's a different list. I found it on Facebook. I'm joking. It was a pretty good source, but the problem is it was like the categories are much broader than that. So you're talking about a list which we went over in class, which had refrigerants on the top.
That's number 1.
And things like that. This one's much broader.
Okay, was this the EPA one? The Environmental Protection Agency list?
It wasn't just US.
No, they published a list. Was it on their website or no?
I don't think so.
I looked at every list on the internet because I wanted to ask you the question. With the refrigerants, I wanted to list the top 10.
Okay, 3 biggest sources of anthropogenic CO2. And I won't tell you what the first one is, but just so you get what I'm talking about, like the grasp of it, the first one has 87% of the CO2. So it's super broad.
Transportation, and that's including
even
air,
broader.
Fossil fuels?
Fossil fuel
like
burning.
Energy?
So that's number 1. Fossil fuel burning has 87% of our CO2 that we release, and the biggest ones within that are electricity and heat, then transportation, then industrial.
That's like everything.
Machinations.
Okay. So, fossil fuels.
Yeah.
I'm going to say agriculture as second.
I'll give it to you. It's broader. It was land use changes. But that's mostly deforestation, yeah. But I'll count agriculture in it.
Because that's incorporated.
Because that's what releases the most, right? For agriculture, it's not even just the functioning of the farms, but it's the clearing of the land for the farms.
Yeah, and the monocultures and all that jazz.
Okay.
So
and the third one is
change.
Yeah.
This is probably gonna be like 0.8%. This is
land use change was 9% of it, and the next one, I almost said it, is 4%. You're not gonna get it. It's too vague.
Respiration?
Like human respiration?
And animal?
No. It is cement production.
That should be an industry.
Sorry. Sorry. Number 3, the whole thing is called industrial processes. What?
I would have incorporated that with number 1.
No, because it's not all about the fossil fuel burning. So this includes cement production, metal production, chemical and petrochemical production.
Is this like refinement of...
Yeah.
Okay, 2 out of 3.
That was fun.
I didn't ask you anything on listing them because I couldn't find the list.
Well, the problem is the lists are so often contradictory.
Yeah.
And
because,
different specificities of categories. Like this was as broad as possible because I thought it'd be funny.
It's because like if you break down the top one, it's like jet fuel is like part of that, and it's like 0.1%, or it's like 3% or something. But yeah. Anyway.
Move on.
Which of the following were not contemporaries to Charles Dickens? Mark Twain, Louisa May Alcott, Edgar Allan Poe, or Jane Austen?
That's a pretty good question, actually. Mm-hmm. Did you get that from somewhere else, or did you put that together yourself?
Put it together myself.
You stole that question off a Trivial Pursuit card, didn't you? You coward. No. So, Charles Dickens. I don't know when he was alive. I'm going to say 1860. He was probably alive around then. And Louisa May Alcott was during the Civil War in the US. And so too, I thought was Mark Twain. So those two are probably out, I'm going to guess. And who else was it? Jane Austen?
Jane Austen and Edgar Allan Poe.
I don't really know much about Edgar Allan Poe. I'm going to say him.
No.
Which one?
Jane Austen.
Ah!
Did she come before or after Charles Dickens?
Before.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was... I knew she was... I shouldn't...
Yeah, she lived 1775 to 1817.
Yeah.
And she was writing in the late late.
I knew she came before. I don't know why I wanted to take a chance on Poe.
Yeah, and then you were right with like the era that Dickens and Twain were alive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It was a
no
good
points.
question, wasn't it? I thought of it.
It was a good question. I like that.
Yeah.
I like these rankings or like placing things.
Hmm. I'm really, really bad at that, though.
We should do an episode which is all like, what's that game show you have to guess the prices? Like what's more
The Price is
expensive?
Right?
No, when it is comparing two different things.
Yeah, it's The Price is Right.
We should do an episode like that. It'd be fun. We could do it with age or CO2 production or
Yeah.
energy consumption or something like that.
It's a pretty good idea.
Would be fun. Okay, your next question is, describe impressionism. Name some artists, etc. So this is kind of a long answer. Essay question.
Describe Impressionism.
Yes.
So this was like the first time that they were remotely even abstracting reality, right? So it was like Renaissance was like really realistic and even like hyper realistic, and then these were
Keep talking. I'm not going to give you anything for
so
this.
like there's like this wasn't as far as like the really like pointillistic, or like this wasn't Picasso or anything like that. There's a book behind me, all of the Impressionists, the really famous ones.
You're not looking.
I'm just
This is a
racking my
test to
brain.
see if you actually read your books.
I do.
You just put them up for display.
No.
We all know it.
Okay, give me a moment. Impressionist music, Debussy.
No, we're just talking visual art. Just give me some general things you know about it and where it came up and who was involved.
Okay, Italy.
What?
No, it's French Impressionists.
Okay, yes.
There was like a cafe they all went to, and they kind of got together and they would share it.
Yeah, there's a lot of cafes.
And then eventually, like, the critics were all hating on it and such. And then one
Mhm.
critic came from America, and he was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And then he popularized it, sort of, by spreading it and making it acceptable, and less like, "Oh, these people are untalented and destroying the name of art." Some Impressionist painters include,
We've named some on the show.
I know,
Okay.
like, I'm pretty sure my favorite painter is an Impressionist painter, but I just can't remember for some reason.
She's on the spot.
I can describe
She's
the paintings.
choking. Yeah,
There's-
describe the paintings. That's what I want.
There's one guy, he did a lot of like ballet portraits and stuff. He
That's
would
right.
go into ballet classes and paint them kind of in movement, like
Mhm.
give the dresses a lot of kind of paint the motion,
Yeah,
which was
just describe what the
part of it.
paintings usually are of. That would
People.
be enough.
And then there's the first like there's the ones all by like the riverside, the River Thames, when it first
River Thames.
in England.
Okay.
It's people like sitting all beside it when it was first cleaned up. 'Cause It
Okay.
was super polluted for a while, and then they like cleaned it up, and then these guys were all swimming in it, I believe. Right after there was like a really and so it's like there's a lot of people in the park. They have like their parasols and their swimsuits on, and they're going for swims in the river. Some other Impressionist painters, there's the ones of like the water lilies.
It's probably the most famous impressionistic painting.
Yeah.
Who
Why?
who painted it?
I don't know why I can't remember. This is like
Uh-oh.
there's like a block in my brain right now that I just
Uh-oh.
can't get
When?
past it.
When was this? Give me a time frame.
Mid to late 19th century.
Yeah. 1870s, 1880s.
Why can't I remember? This is the most embarrassing moment of my entire life.
Okay, I'm just going to...
Okay, just tell me. I'm so embarrassed.
So what I have written down was 19th century art movement, small, thin, visible brushstrokes, emphasis on accurate depiction of light, because that was, light on the water or watery sunrises or something, or kind of dreamscape, landscapes of sunrises and sunsets were very, very common. Movement, which you got, it was Degas who usually painted the ballets and that kind of thing. Unusual angles, they were Paris-based. The term came from a painting called Impression Sunrise, which provoked a critic to coin the term Impressionists in a satirical review. But
Yeah.
I think they kind of embraced it, or some of them did. The main guy is Claude Monet.
Okay, when you first said Impressionism, I was like Monet, but then you didn't ask the question.
Okay.
So I thought in my head, and then I just... Okay.
And then some of the others are Degas, as mentioned, Manet, Renoir, although he hated the term Impressionist, and Cézanne, my favorite.
Yeah, Monet is my favorite.
There you go. I guess I'll give you a measly 2 points for that. I really thought
That was the most embarrassing moment of my entire life.
you would clean up on that, but okay.
What makes a French hydrangea blue? Mr. Garden Center?
Blue instead of red?
Yes.
Shoot. Oh no. Because one's more acidic and one's more alkaline, right?
Yes, but
I just don't
what
remember
makes it
which.
blue?
I'm going to say to make it... I just remember because we have this product at the garden center, which is there's two. There's Make It Blue and there's Make It Red. But one of them is always sold out, so we never have it because everyone has that, because everyone here has the same soil. So
Yeah.
they never need the other one because they're automatically what? And there's so many hydrangeas at the store. I'm going to say they're automatically blue because we have kind of acidic soil, so acid.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Low pH.
Yes, low pH.
Yes. I got it right.
Yeah.
I thought it through and I got it right.
Yeah, and I found out if you have like neutral soil, it's like a 6 to 7 pH, they'll be like a mix. It's
Yeah.
kind of cool. And then white hydrangeas are like a thing of their own, and they don't.
Yeah,
change
it's their
color.
own breed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm glad you got that. I'll give you 2 out of 2.
Yes! This is the last environmental question.
Okay, I don't know why I dropped off on the environmental questions just completely. These are all just.
I sprinkled them through.
Okay.
Why are mangroves so important?
Oh, because they absorb CO2 from the atmosphere. Like
Yep. Yep.
They're like CO2 sinks.
Yep. They sequester carbon.
Yes. They
Because-
also reduce erosion, like when
Yeah.
there's
Prevent
floods
erosion.
and stuff.
I have 5 reasons, and you just got 2 of them.
Okay, it's like, does that include flood mitigation?
No. So that was another one. The other one I have was protect shorelines from storms, high winds, waves, and floods. And then another one was prevent erosion. So you've got
Okay.
3 now.
Why are mangroves important? They preserve biodiversity.
Yeah, they're huge biodiversity hotspots,
Yeah.
many of which are endangered
Hmm.
because they're such kind of unique places.
Yes. So there's the wind thing. Sequester carbon. I don't know what else.
They maintain water quality. So they filter out pollutants
that
and they
makes
trap
sense.
sediments and things like that. They're really
Okay.
good for that. That's actually one of the key ones.
Yeah.
Cool, so you got 4 out of 5. Good job.
Not
Mangroves
too
are
shabby.
cool. I would like to visit a mangrove. Definitely. Yeah, they sequester carbon at a really, really important rate. But
Mhm.
no one really talks about mangroves outside of global biogeochemical cycles classrooms.
There's a little bit of it because people are restoring them.
I
Because
find people care more about forests and rainforests,
Mhm.
the Amazon.
That's because those are pretty and you can like visit them. Mangroves are just really wet.
But I
swamps.
like how kind of weird and ugly they are. I think
Yeah.
I'd like them. What I had written down from the source was that they sequester carbon at a rate of 2 to 4 times more than mature typical forests.
Interesting.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, definitely biodiversity as well. You don't think, because none of the creatures there are probably like cute. They're just more like,
Strange insects.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What was the first episode of New Who called? And the last episode of Classic Who?
New Who?
Yeah, like New Doctor Who.
New Doctor Who. The
Yeah.
reboot in 2005.
Yeah.
Rose.
Mhm.
The last episode of Classic Who?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
including like the TV movie
I don't know.
that came sometime in the 90s?
No.
Shoot. I really don't know. Can you give me a hint?
It's kind of ironic.
So it's the 7th
As a
Doctor.
last episode.
I have no idea.
It's called Survival. What year was it? Do you know? The first one was, or the Rose was in 2005.
Yeah, 86. No, 85. 89.
89.
Yes!
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you,
2 out of 3.
yeah.
Okay, cool. No, 3 out of 4. Because I got both years and one name.
3 out of 4.
Yes. I stole some points. I stole a point. So we have one each left, right?
Yeah. I'm scared.
No, it's not a really difficult one. But it is very, very important. Alicia, your final question.
Hmm.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if it's the same thing that I have.
It most definitely is not.
Okay.
Bear in mind I came up with these questions quite late last night.
Oh, on a carrot cake.
Yeah, on a carrot cake binge. What is Antarctica? What is Antarctica? What is Antarctica?
Antarctica is not a continent. How did you mess me up so much? I'm questioning.
I
if it's
toyed
the
with your
South
mind.
Pole or the
I've been
North
toying with
Pole.
your mind for the last hour.
Antarctica is a continent.
I'm not saying anything. It's another essay question.
Okay. It is where penguins live. Okay. It's a very like icy landscape
Yes. Is it though?
There's a population of like 6 people there probably.
6? Is that your final answer?
It's a lot of people went exploring there at some point in world history.
Wow.
It's crucial it's a really good indicator of climate change because if the ice is melting, then it's...
You're really in your essay question mode when you don't know the answer and you're just putting in whatever kind of remotely relevant statements you can say to try and get points.
Like, I don't know how... If I knew if it was the North Pole or the South Pole...
Oh my lord.
No, it's the South Pole. If you guys can see Aaron's expressions right now, it's making me the most insecure I've ever been. Just, what is Antarctica?
This is going to be held against you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
The time she started crying live on the podcast because...
She didn't know what Antarctica... I know, but I mean, it's just... I'm questioning everything I'm even thinking after not being able to name a single impressionist painter.
Italy, she says.
I knew it was France. I knew it was Paris.
I knew it was
cafe
France.
Of impressionists. There's the critic who coined the term. All that. I don't know.
Is that what you have?
Just ask me questions. Don't just say, what is Antarctica?
No. Okay. Is it a country?
It's not a country.
So what is it then?
It's a continent.
Yes. But what about its kind of legalities? Like, it's who has rights, like the ownership?
It's under similar territory to like the ocean, would be my guess. Or there's like a random country that just has Antarctica. Russia? South Africa?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
It's Russia. Is that all you're going to give me?
Ask me another question.
No. No.
I don't know what you want to know. This ice.
Here, I will tell you.
It's not a lot of
I'm giving you a 3. A 3 out of a possible 10.
What do you want to know?
Continent. Ice covered.
Yes.
Almost uninhabited.
Yes.
1,000 to 5,000 people. Not 6. Depending on the season.
6.
Because they're there for science, mostly.
That's why I thought there were 6.
The single coldest place on Earth.
Okay.
The South Pole. Not the North Pole.
I don't know why I was questioning that so
Yes,
much.
penguins live there. It's a
no
desert.
No polar bears don't live there. No Santa doesn't
It's a
live
desert.
there. Okay.
Because it has very little precipitation.
Mm-hmm.
The only plants that grow there are, don't say penguins. So help me.
I'm going to say evergreens.
No. No, not evergreens.
Seaweed then.
Probably. It says moss and algae.
Not too bad.
And as for its ownership, the Antarctic Treaty has been signed, which states that nobody owns it, and it has several stipulations, one of which being that there is freedom of movement for scientific work and things like that. And it was signed by all the countries who kind of have a history of exploration and science being done there. Russia doesn't own it. And it's in the South Pole.
Who owns the North Pole? Canada?
I mean, Russia's been... That's a place where a lot of conflict's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's kind
Oil
of encroaching on it. I think Canada has as much a claim to it as anyone else, but kind of no military backing.
Yeah.
Of our own, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Okay, whatever.
I'm going to tally yours up. Or we can do it after.
You have a question equally as broad, so...
Equally as obscure.
I printed off the answer for this one.
Wait, what does it say?
Classified. The question is...
She's got a whole piece of paper, everyone, that she's
is,
unfolding right now.
What are the origins of the internet? And this paper here says, classified, how the internet came to be.
So it's another essay question.
Yes.
The origins of the internet.
Yeah.
I know it was an Englishman who's since been knighted, right? He's a sir.
Something like that, yeah.
Is he on your little cheat sheet there? Your answer key?
Well, there's who's like... I did this about a week ago, so I don't really remember. Unlike you. Okay, just like give me a name. Who came up with the idea of the world wireless system?
I don't know.
Tesla. Nikola Tesla.
Oh, okay. Well, if we're going back to all the things Tesla kind of invented but didn't really, then there's thousands.
I should have reviewed this.
Aha, the tables have turned. Maybe I should quiz you on it.
Okay.
It probably... So are we talking about his conception of it, or just like the internet that we know and love and hate?
Okay, you're on the right track. The internet is just like, there's no one person invented it.
I'm guessing it was military roots.
It was.
Should I name which war? Or which decade?
Which decade?
The 60s.
Yeah.
With the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
Probably something about spies communicating with each other.
Yeah.
Submarines and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it was like kind of, they were trying to figure out ways to like send signals. And it's called packet switching. So they would like, you'd write a message. You'd write like, hi there. And it would break it into these little packets of information, send them along different channels, and they'd be like reassembled at the origins.
Send them along different channels?
Yeah, because like one channel couldn't handle the whole message.
You mean cables?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because it's not like it's Wi-Fi, it's just like the internet.
And that also probably helped with keeping the messages scrambled in case they were intercepted.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were no satellites.
No.
All right.
Yeah, and then another thing was that the internet and the World Wide Web are like two different things. World Wide Web didn't come till the 70s.
I think that was the English guy
Davis.
who invented that.
Robert
Yes.
Kahn?
Yeah, I think he's English.
I think so. It was like English, there was like an English scientist and then a bunch of American ones.
Well, the World Wide Web is just kind of like a network which everyone's on, right?
Yes.
But there are closed systems.
Yeah.
We've been on them, you know, like a lot of schools have them.
Mm-hmm.
Or companies have them, which are called intranets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like, internet is like
Yes.
all of them. Intranet is, yeah, just one closed system. Very good. You got the decade right, which is really good.
Cool.
Because I probably wouldn't have known
Do we have
that.
anything about it's kind of filtering down into consumer technology?
No, but do you remember it was like one of the presidents, he's like, no one needs a computer, or like no one's going to want a computer. The people
I do remember a
like
president
founded
saying
those.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then one that was like, oh, the guy who founded Apple. He was like, no one's going to need more than 10, like it's like a really, really small version of a gigabyte.
Steve Jobs said that?
Yeah, he's like, no one's going to want more than that. And now everyone has like 16 gig phones.
16? That's pretty low now.
64. So I have a
Yeah.
16 gig phone and don't have the podcast app because
So Alicia has no storage, so she's just continually deleting apps.
yeah.
And eventually she'll probably just delete the phone so that she has room for it. Something like that.
I don't want a new one because it still technically works and it's small and fits in my pocket.
Okay, do you have anything? You've probably got other stuff.
Plus,
no?
yeah. So node-to-node communication was kind of like the first thing. It was trying to send one message from one node to another node.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first message sent?
What did it say?
Yeah, it was one word. And it crashed the system.
So I have two options. I'm thinking it was either hello or testing. And I'm going to go with testing.
It was login.
Log in?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Well, not of course, but...
No. What was the university that did this test? The first computer was located in a research lab at what university?
The first computer or the first internet?
The first computer... Oh, wait. Sorry. So this message was sent between two universities. One at this university with a computer and one another computer at another university.
In the US?
Yes.
MIT.
No. UCLA and Stanford.
Why did you kind of nod as if like UCLA and... I was like, okay.
I know. I had my ballet teacher. She used to do that for everything she would say.
What do
She
you
would
mean?
like say a sentence and then she would pause and want us to answer.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't like she was quizzing us. It was just like
Things you
how
didn't
she
know.
spoke. Yeah. Like, so today's class is going to be focused around... It's just like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Sorry, I should have reviewed this beforehand.
No, it's okay.
But, so like, that was the 60s. That first message was sent to crash the system.
Mhm.
So that was 1969. And then until probably the early 80s, it was still more just testing, more figuring out ways to send messages without crashing the systems. And then in 83, a group of researchers started assembling the network of networks, which would be the World Wide Web.
Network of networks.
Yeah,
That'd
I
be a
really
good
like
name.
that. The web Oh, the web. So when he made the World Wide Web, that's what popularized the internet among the public.
Yes.
So until there was like a really easy interface to like communicate with the internet,
Yes.
people didn't like it, which makes sense. Then he was like, no, you can have websites and you can have hyperlinks and everything. Yeah.
What a shame.
Screw you, Tim Berners-Lee.
He's the English one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I keep mentioning that, as if I'm like really nationalistic or something. I just...
Like, no, there was an Englishman.
We were involved. No, I remember it because, one, I know he's a sir, like I know he got knighted. And
Okay.
I remember in the Olympic ceremony,
Okay.
remember that?
London?
Yeah, in London, they kind of wheeled him out.
Oh.
Oh, he was carrying the flame, actually.
Okay.
Maybe, I might have made that part up.
Really random.
Yeah.
Not someone who discovered like a vaccine or something.
No.
Someone discovered the internet.
Yeah, ruined the... I'm joking.
No, okay. But yeah, so I have a list here of names that you can maybe add to your list of people to maybe dislike.
Oh, people to dislike?
Yeah.
My hate list.
Your hate list.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tesla, we don't.
No,
know.
we don't hate
probably
Tesla.
Didn't.
No.
We didn't. Yeah. There's Liger.
Lick. Are those two different people?
Yeah.
Okay.
J. Sierra Liger. He did the packet switching.
Oh, it's one person.
Yeah. That is Robert Kahn, Vinton Cerf. Add him to your list. Yeah. So I'll give
Thanks
you
for
that.
that. Yeah,
later.
give me that after the...
Yeah, after the show.
Yeah.
So that about wraps up the test.
No, we got to add them up.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna.
We'll play some music while we do the math.
Should I give you points for the internet thing? Did you give me points for the Antarctica thing?
It's up to you. You're the one holding the pen.
You got a 21 out of 37.
Okay.
What did I get?
29.
Okay.
That's the number. I didn't do any kind of percentages. I just jotted down numbers as I went. Now I'm realizing that was an incredibly crude
I could have got 29.
scoring method.
So I won.
No, you didn't.
You got a 21 then. You got a 21.
Okay, 21 to 29.
Yeah.
Fine, you won. Shake hands.
Shake, shake.
Yeah, next time we do this, we should most likely kind of organize a more sophisticated and consistent marking scheme.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit of, what would you say, communication with regards to the questions, because these were slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we
No, it was
struck
the
a pretty
French
good
question.
balance.
We had that final essay question.
We struck a pretty good balance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too shabby.
I liked it. It was fun.
It was fun. I'm going to definitely work on allowing my brain to open up when I'm asked questions so I don't just have complete doors blocking the names of all artists.
It's
in
a good
history.
exercise for spontaneity and improvisation.
Yes.
And thinking on your feet.
Pretty good,
And it also, it made me want to learn. It made me quite ashamed at times.
Me
With my
too.
roughly 60%. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for today's episode. Next week we'll probably be talking about, I don't know, trains or something like that.
Yeah, something cool.
Something trainy.
Something cool. We'll be not winging it. We'll have researched and made notes. So that we're not just like, trains, they have wheels.
Yes. You can find us on Instagram at @the_environmental, where we post a lot of cool scientific, graphic design, and general nature-y content.
Or you can subscribe to our podcast, and usually you'll get reminders that way.
Yeah.
Hope everyone had a nice long weekend, and you have a great rest of your day.
Week.